Hello and welcome to the Confidence Academy podcast. My name is Lily Badcock and I am a transformational confidence coach and founder of the Confidence Academy Members Club, helping men and women just like you to build unshakable confidence and self-belief. Each week, I will be bringing you new episodes with advice and guidance to help you rebuild lost confidence, manage anxiety, and finally start living the life you were born to live. It is my aim to reach as many people as possible with the message that no matter what you're going through, no matter what your struggle may be, there is hope. And there is a way to create an amazing life for yourself. The incredible people I have been blessed to interview on the show are walking, talking examples of how this is possible. And I truly hope you will find their stories uplifting, inspiring, and motivational. The conversations are very open and candid and occasionally may include some adult language, so please take care when listening around little ones or grab some headphones. This podcast series is brought to you in association with Lily Badcock Confidence Coaching and the Confidence Academy Members Club. If you are ready to make the shift from anxious and frustrated to calm and confident, then visit www.lilybadcock.com today and get started with the free resources that are waiting there for you. I need you to know that you're not alone, that it can and will get easier, and that the transformation you seek is possible. You are more powerful than you know, and I'm here to teach you everything I know about harnessing that power and creating an amazing life on your terms. Before we dive in, don't forget to leave a review for us on iTunes and to check out the links in the podcast notes to the free resources we have available for you. But for now, let's get you on your way to living your epic life, free of anxiety and full of confidence. After all, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it. Hello everybody, welcome to the Confidence Academy podcast. My name is Lily Badcock, as I'm sure you know by now, and today I am joined by the gorgeous Kate Winch, all the way over in San Francisco, and Kate is a tapping practitioner. So the EFT that we've mentioned on here before, this lady is the bomb when it comes to that, and we're going to be getting into some tapping today, so be prepared to play along. But Kate, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Lily. I'm thrilled to be here. It's a real honor.
I'm really excited to have you here. And I want to say, Kate actually is from just down the road from me. So it's very, very exciting when I got her message, because I get messages from people all around the world and all over America to come on the podcast. And obviously when she saw I was from Salisbury, she was like, oh, I'm from Somerset, which is just down the road. So I'm super excited, and I'm even more excited that you've made it to San Francisco, because that gives us all hope. So welcome to the podcast. Like I said, thank you for being here. So what I'd like you to do is, first of all, for anyone who has no idea what I just said, could you explain for everybody what a tapping practitioner is, or what EFT is?
Yes, great question. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's also known as tapping. And basically, it's a bit like acupuncture without the needles. And I've been teaching it for over 12 years now. And one of the many things I love about it is that you can do it on yourself. So if you're having a difficult time, you've got this incredible tool at your fingertips. And what happens is we have negative emotions that are stored in the body, sometimes, from our childhood or something that happened last week or last year, and we're carrying a lot of stress. A lot of us can be carrying a lot of stress in our bodies, and anxiety and old trauma. So the tapping is really great for getting the energy system flowing again and letting go. This stress and fear and worry and guilt and shame and anger can create a disruption in the energy system. So the tapping gets the energy flowing again. Mm-hmm. And I love it because it's working with the body and the mind. Some things just work with the mind, some just the body, and this is combining the two. So you're calming the mind and the body.
Yeah. And this is a really great technique for anxiety, because like you say,
you don't have to sign up for something and then wait to be seen. So, even if you need to see a doctor, often you'll need to wait until you can get an appointment, or, anything like that. Whereas with EFT, it's a very simple process in some respects. And you can use it even imperfectly. I mean, I've used this on myself, even for things like trying to get on a roller coaster in Florida. In fact, I'm bigging it up. It wasn't a roller coaster at all. It was a little water ride, but I'm terrified of all rides. But my husband wanted me to get on it. So I was EFT tapping in the queue because I was okay till I saw the sign that said, you shouldn't ride this if you have any heart problems or if you have a bad neck. And my brain is just the kind of brain that will go, well, I don't think I do, but do I? I might have a bit of, and actually my neck does feel a little bit stiff, come to think of it. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like a tunnel, you just fall in like the rabbit hole. So what I love about EFT is you can literally just have a crack with it. You can just have a go. And it does work. It does work. It instantly calms you down. And often with anxiety, that's all you need, isn't it? You just need that space to have clarity again, because with anxiety comes fear and panic, and once fear and panic set in, all hell breaks loose, and you start grabbing at everything around you, and you're spinning around, and you can't focus, and you literally can't take a step forward because you can't stop spinning and trying to see where you're going. So the thing I found with EFT is it doesn't solve all of your problems. Nothing does. You're going to do that. You have the power to do that. But the way you get to find that power is by calming yourself down and focusing and getting that space. And EFT is definitely something that can help you to do that.
Yeah, it's so true. When we're triggered, we can get triggered and we can get anxious or angry or frustrated. It's so consuming. We can't see the wood for the trees,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I love the tapping because it calms you down, and then you can listen to your inner wisdom and get clarity and move forward.
Yeah.
Rather than being all freaked out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because actually, and you even know that, you know that isn't conducive to a result. You know that while you're spinning your wheels that way, nothing gets resolved, and all you do is feel worse and worse and worse. That's all you achieve. So it's a very nice, calming and easy thing to do. Most of all, it's very simple, and you can do it absolutely anywhere, and you can be pretty discreet about it, because I know, for those people listening who do already know about tapping, I know one of the things that people often say is, but I feel a bit silly because you can see me doing it. But actually, you can be really discreet. You don't have to be whacking yourself on the head, or when you're out in public. And actually, I've found even repeating the statements without the tapping does something. I mean, obviously the tapping is the best way to do it, but if you were in a situation where you didn't feel like you could physically tap, even just repeating the affirmations to yourself, even though I'm feeling anxious right now, I still deeply love and accept myself. Even that will calm you down.
Yes. Yeah, it's so powerful, because often we're giving ourselves a hard time. If we're struggling, we're anxious about something, we're kind of making ourselves wrong for feeling that way. And
yes.
Just to say, even though I'm anxious, I still love and accept myself. And
yeah.
You do? Yeah. And then
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about that as well, because I know how I felt the first time I came across EFT, I was like, what in the name of hell is this? Like, what is this woo-woo, love myself? What? I was really like, I'd never heard anything like it. And people stumble over that. I say people, I stumbled over it. I found it hard. And actually, as it turns out, it was because I didn't really love myself at the time. And so I couldn't connect with that statement. But the truth is, you are repeating an affirmation that actually at your core is true. You are more than worthy of your love, and you do love yourself at a core level, even if on all the other layers you've forgotten that. So even if right now you're thinking, oh God, but I really don't love myself, it is in there and it's possible. And the EFT brings you back to that, and then it expands and it starts to break down those other things where, every time you've judged yourself, every time you've told yourself that you were wrong for feeling a certain way or thinking a certain way or acting a certain way or whatever it may be, it brings you back to your truth, which is that you're a beautiful being of light and love, and you're worthy of that. You can give it out and you can receive it back. So it's a powerful statement, as you just said.
It really is. Yeah. Beautifully said.
So we're going to be doing some tapping today, I understand. I'm really excited. I love it.
Yeah,
so, yeah, no, carry on.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I love doing a little round of tapping for listeners so that people can tap along and actually, just rather than hearing what it is, they can actually experience it for themselves.
Yes.
It's powerful, so they can tap along in this podcast and feel lighter.
I love it. I've actually got goosebumps. It's really, really cool. I'm so excited because, this podcast exists because something like this did not exist when I needed it the most. So I could not find any resource anywhere that was like, oh, you have anxiety, try this, try this, try this. So I got goosebumps because I just instantly thought of all the people listening who are struggling right now, who can't see the wood for the trees, who really don't know if there's a way out. Right here, right now, you're about to give them something that's going to help them feel better. I just think that's absolutely freaking awesome. And I'm so grateful that you're here. So thank you for that.
Oh, yay. I'm thrilled to be here. Yeah, I'm so passionate about this technique. I've been teaching it for over 12 years and it still blows me away today. Like most days, I get blown away by it, whether I use it myself or with clients. Yeah.
And I hear that a lot, actually. I hear that a lot from other people that I know who have done it. They all say the same thing. They're like, oh my goodness, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. They're constantly, I suppose it's like when I'm teaching singing, it's the same thing because I got taught a really awesome technique to teach singers. And even though I know the technique and I know it works and I understand it all, I'm still like, oh my God, it worked. Like every time I see it work on someone else, I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And I imagine it's the same sort of thing. It's just that you're reaffirming that what you're doing is working and it's so powerful.
Yeah.
So before we launch into the tapping itself, I'm just interested to know how you came across the tapping. So was this something that you initially had to use on yourself, or how did it all come about? How did you come to teach this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been a healing practitioner for over 20 years. I've had my own business here in San Francisco. And I started out as a body worker and studying the tarot and doing intuitive readings. And then I used to smoke cigarettes years ago, and I actually used hypnosis to quit cigarettes. And I was so impressed that I became a hypnotherapist. And then about 12 years ago or so, my aunt is a therapist in England, and she introduced me to the tapping. And I thought it was a little bit weird, you tap and say these words. And then my sister tried it and she said, oh my God, this stuff's amazing. You have to go and train for it. And I looked online and there happened to be a training. And I was very skeptical. I went and just thinking it was a weird thing. And I ended up being blown away. And then I became like a sponge. I just wanted to learn everything there was to learn about it. It's a super simple technique. And I love that, so anyone can do it. But, there's a lot of depth to it too. If you're dealing with really big stuff, it's great to get support and do some one-on-one healing. But I love it.
Amazing. And so how did it help you personally? Because you mentioned earlier that you're blown away when you see this work on clients, but also when you use it on yourself. So can you give us an example of how this has helped you in your own life?
Well, a couple of things. I definitely had a fear of shining and being seen. I was painfully shy. You would never get me in front of an audience, and now I teach all the time. And I used tapping to clear my fear of shining and being seen, which was kind of miraculous given who I used to be, and somebody that really hid out a lot. And that's why I love helping people, shine. And because I find so many people, we're all gifted in our own way, and a lot of people are hiding out and not sharing their gifts.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is working with entrepreneurs with the inner game. I did, when I started out, I like to call it abundance tapping, because I find as you tap on your stress about money, for example, you relax, and that's when you raise your vibration, and often more money comes in. And I remember I was doing some abundance tapping on deserving abundance, and I just did like 15 minutes one afternoon. And this is when I first got into it. And that evening I received $900 in cash, and I was like, this works. And then I started doing my tapping every day. I'd go for a walk and I would just tap and clear my stuff. And that year I had one of the best years in my business to that date. And I found like I became a magnet, and people, I knew clients and opportunities to be interviewed or to speak on other people's stages. And I'll still use it whenever I feel stuck in my business. I'll tap. Not so much these days, I need to, but it's so good if you feel stuck around business. There is an expression, try it on anything, and you can use it for chronic pain, relationship stuff, finances, health issues, you name it. You can really try it on anything.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I'm super excited for this. So what's going to happen is Kate is going to be tapping with me, and you guys are going to listen along and hopefully tap along. Don't make me do this alone, people. So if you're driving a car listening to this right now, then just make a mental note to come back to this later, and just give yourself a little bit of space and a little bit of time to really immerse yourself in this. Don't try and do it when you've got 500 kids hanging off your legs and the husband's trying to get your attention and all of that, because I know what that's like. I mean, that was literally my life about 10 minutes before we started this podcast. Kate witnessed it firsthand. There were naked children running around everywhere. It's chaos. So, it may be that you need to find the time and come back to it, but do find the time and do give this a go. So I'm going to hand over to Kate, and I am your model for the evening. So we're just going to run it like as if this was a session. And obviously this is also going to give everyone an insight into how it would be if they wanted some one-to-one support, and if they wanted to work with you, then you guys are getting a snapshot of what that looks like as well.
Yeah. So what I'd love the listeners to do is to think of something that they're really anxious about, they're really stressed about, and give it a number 0 to 10. So 10 is, I'm very anxious about this issue. 0 is, no, it's no big deal. So pick something that's stressing you out at the moment, and it could be, finances or health or relationship, anything that comes to mind. Do you want to pick an issue and give it a number, or? Yes,
I would love to. I may overcomplicate this. I think this is like a tendency of mine, but I'm going to go with it because I'm sure I'm sure this won't be the first time that's happened. So the level of anxiety I have around this is definitely a 10.
Yeah.
I would even say an 11. If I was allowed 11, I would go there. Plus, angel numbers. But it's around, in a nutshell, I would say money, finances. However, I know that money isn't the issue, because money as it is just energy. So it's what I've attached to that. And I think what is attached to that is it's a fear of, oh God, so many things. Like we were talking before, it's about up-leveling my business. It's about truly being seen. It's about truly stepping into this purpose, this podcast that I'm doing, and growing this members club and the support network for everybody. And I know I have a lot of fear around letting people down, that really maybe I'm not good enough to do this. And maybe I'm not reliable enough, and I'm not a good enough businesswoman, and oh God, all the things I could list, all the things that I tell myself on a daily basis. And I'm proud of myself because I put this podcast out in spite of that. However, I know that I haven't taken this podcast or everything attached to it to the level that I choose to, or to the level that it is designed to go to. I know I'm supposed to go bigger with this. Yeah. So that's it. And I'm at a 10 with that. And especially since I just let everything else go, and now it's just this. This is it. I've gone all in. So this is going to be so freaking cool as well, because you guys can track the journey of this as well, because I will definitely come back and talk about this as my journey goes on. So you're hearing it here first. Full transparency. Yes, I'm shitting a brick.
Well, I want to acknowledge you being so courageous and letting
I
go.
say pig-headed. Pig-headed is another way of putting that.
Determined, you're on a mission.
Yes.
You're very passionate about what you're up to, and you're making an incredible difference in the world already, with what you've done. So it's exciting. So I'm taking some notes there. So so the fear of failing, another thing I'm hearing is like the pressure to be perfect. Like I have to be perfect. I'm not. Does that resonate? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm a massive. I always say I'm a huge perfectionist, but I don't act like one because I'm like totally imperfect, as we all are, obviously. But no, I think I don't like to do anything halfway. Like if I do anything, I have to be the best. And so the intention that I've been writing in my journal for some time now is that I am the Ellen of podcasting, or the Oprah of podcasting.
I love that.
That's where I'm headed. But then that in the same moment, I'm like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Why can't I just be a normal person? But I'm not. This is who I am. This is me. I'm going to break out into song. So yeah. But yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, totally.
It's so great. And where do you feel that in your body when you tune into that anxiety and fear of failing and this pressure?
I think it's in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in my stomach. It's like that pit of, it's that pit feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not when I think about doing the podcast, but it's everything attached to that brings that up. So, I mentioned the finances. I've literally made my life so difficult when it comes to money. I've created so many stressful situations. And actually, to be fully transparent, I am 24 hours away from having to give back our really lovely car because I can't afford to pay for it anymore. And so we're swapping it out for like an old banger, which that's not the biggest issue anybody has in life. And I'm already looking forward to the day that I go and pick up my Merc that I paid for in cash because I overcame all of my own crap. But I am gutted. I'm really gutted about it because we are only 2 months away from having paid off the whole thing. But we just couldn't get any further. Like, it had to happen now. So I just feel like to me that feels like a failure. Like, it's just annoying. And that's just one little example of all the shitstorm I've created for myself when it comes to my finances. And, as a result, I don't feel like I'm living my life. So I don't feel like I feel really stuck right now because to me, everything I want to do, I go, oh, but I can't because I haven't got money. Oh, but I can't because I haven't got money. And I know that's a bullshit excuse as well. So I have this level of awareness that I know I'm just putting it on money. It's not money's fault. It's, and to other people, this might be their health or this might be their relationships or, how we manifest these beliefs that we hold can show up in all areas. It just so happens that for me, it's in my ability to receive money. So that's where I'm at.
What's your theory about that? The inability to receive money?
Yeah, so, and I know that's not true because I do receive money. Maybe inability is the wrong word. I'm really uncomfortable with it. So
yeah, that can be really common for people who, especially you're kind of a healer and you're
totally.
And tapping is so good for clearing the blocks to receiving. Yeah,
because I feel like, I want to help the people that need help. And there's been so many times where I have felt like I needed the help. And we talked about this actually before we went live. But there's been so many times where I have felt like I needed the help and I couldn't afford to have it. Yeah. Whereas what I now know is the help was always within me. So I do know this. Yeah. But when it comes to this is not something I've been able to break through on my own. And I've been doing a whole lot of mindset work for about 1.5 years now. Yeah. And massive shifts have occurred, including this podcast getting launched and done, that's all been part of it for sure. So I know this is my journey and it's exciting, but I feel like for so long I've been on this little floating island and I'm just ready to make the leap wherever it takes me. And I feel like I'm just waiting for something to click or something to happen. because the cycle keeps repeating, and every time it comes back, it's worse. Like, and I'm almost numb to it now as well. Like, you know, with these things that are happening, like if I get a letter in the mail, I don't even get emotional about it anymore. I'm just completely numb to it. It's just like, meh, that's life, you know? And this belief of, also this big belief that there are people who are truly struggling, and I don't feel like I'm truly struggling, even though I really am. Sometimes I can't afford food, but I know that ultimately I'm okay. So I don't have that stress, but then I feel like the fire under my belly has gone out as well. So I'm so numb that I'm not even moving on from it. I'm just accepting it as it comes and just going, oh, well, you know, maybe this is, in fact, it's come out in journaling that everybody has to struggle. So if this is my struggle, I'll take it, because I know there are people much worse off. And I know that consciously that's such a silly thing to think and say, but that's the belief that runs through.
Right. And I'd like to bring in a reframe that this is temporary. You're going through the struggle, and maybe you've been in it for a long time, but the possibility that it can change, you know.
Yes.
And clearing the blocks to receiving is huge, because you have to learn to receive and be really comfortable with receiving, so that you can do the work that you're meant to do in this world.
Yes.
You want to thrive. You don't want to be like, you know, if you taking the path where you're helping others and making a difference, you need to thrive. Otherwise you can't fully be there for others if you're worrying about, you know, all the, you know, the money piece. So just giving yourself permission to succeed. If that
and that makes total sense, because actually I will not be able to continue doing this. If this is going to be what I do, then I have to make a living from doing it. Yeah. And if I don't, then I'll go and get another job somewhere, and then I won't be able to put the amount of time that goes into all that I'm doing, and my husband says it all the time. He's like, you work so hard. Like, you literally, it's what I think about when I wake up in the morning. It's the last thing I think about before I go to bed. I'm constantly thinking, like, you know, what can I do? How can I make this better? But I really feel like I almost feel invisible. I mean, it's funny that you said about the thing about stepping out and shining, because actually I'm a massive show off and I love to be in the spotlight. But when it comes to this, I don't think I really have been in the spotlight very much. I think I'm a little bit humble about it. I'm like, every now and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I've got a podcast now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I should be screaming it every minute of every day, going, look what I'm doing. Everybody get involved. And I don't. And I think it's all tied in. Yeah.
And look how far you've come already, you know, with the podcast. You had really good success without even trying much. Would that be true? I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, no, I mean, the download, like literally when the downloads, even now when I check it, so I checked it the other day and I think we were at 63,000. And
oh gosh, that's incredible.
I'm just like, I don't like what? And my dad, who's my biggest cheerleader, even my dad, when I felt like 2 weeks after I launched the podcast, and you know, anyone who knows me, they call me Mr. Ben, because I have 500 ideas a day about what I'm going to do. So when I said I was launching a podcast, I think my friends and family just rolled their eyes and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the new thing. She's going to do this for a week and then it'll be something else next week. And 2 weeks down the line, I'd set a goal of 500 downloads. And when I checked, it was 3,500. And I remember ringing my dad and I was in tears, because for so long I had been trying to get my message out there. I so desperately wanted people with anxiety to know that they didn't have to be stuck where they were and that there was hope. And eventually I was like, oh my God, I've finally done it. 3,500 people have heard me talk about this. And I'd only put out 2 episodes. And at that point, they weren't even interviews. It was just me chatting about whatever. And my dad, who's my biggest cheerleader, even he was like, oh, what's gone wrong there then? Like, those numbers can't be right. And I was like, Dad, come on.
Yeah.
They are right. Like, you know, it's just, it's so clearly needed. It's so needed. But, you know, I've just reminded myself, though, that because I still have this anxiety, so this week, my anxiety has come back. In fact, I started a vlog. This was how I was going to process it, because I thought, well, I may as well make some content out of this and help everybody else in the process while I work through this.
Yes.
And oddly, the anxiety has been completely physical. So I haven't felt low, haven't felt sad, haven't felt anxious. I was anxious today because of a bill that I need to pay, but I worked on that because I know how to do that now. I'm like the expert. Ironically, I do think I will help people with their money stories eventually, because I'll have done it all. But I was reminded that anxiety can just crop up physically. And I've been so lacking in energy. I've been feeling physically sick. Like yesterday, I had to keep lying down. I tried to clean because my little boy had been ill, and I was cleaning his room. And after about 10 minutes, I had to stop and lie down for like an hour. That I know that's my anxiety. And obviously the schools are about to break up, so the routine changes, that kicks me off. So I know there's all of that as well. But the summer period has always been the time where I make the least amount of money. It's always a time of immense stress. I mean, in years gone by, I've had bailiffs at the door while I've been teaching workshops. You know, there've been bailiffs on the phone saying, we're going to break your door down if you don't pay this money. Do you know what I mean? So to me, as much as I love the summer and I love the time with my kids, it's a time of immense anxiety for me. And I know that that's a program that's obviously still running, because I can see physically how it's affected me this week.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, I'd love to do some tapping on that. So what I'm going to do is just go over the tapping points for the listeners, and then everyone can tap along. So we're going to start, and I'll give them a diagram they can look at, and I've even got a video with the tapping points, so you might share this. We're going to tap on the side of the hand at the base of the pinky, and it's called the karate chop point. You can do either hand. If you were breaking a piece of wood in half, that's where you're going to tap. I'm going to take you through a sequence of words that you'll repeat after me. If I say any words that don't resonate, feel free to change the words at any time. And then we'll hang out on this point on the side of the hand for a while. And then I'll say eyebrow. And we'll go to the eyebrow where the brow ends near the nose, tapping lightly. And then the side of the eyes. So I like to tap both sides of the body, underneath the eyes, underneath the nose. And if you have that diagram, you can look at the points, the chin point, collarbone, and then underneath the arms, 4 inches down from the armpit, you can cross your arms over or do the same. And then rib cage, the rib cage points, 2 wrists together, and then finishing with the top of the head. Okay. And then, like I said, I have a little video I can share with the listeners. They can watch that before they do this round if they're confused about the tapping points. Brilliant. Otherwise, if you're good, you can just tap along with me. So think of your issue, give it a number 0 to 10, and tap along. And we always start with that part of us that doesn't want to change. So we're going to the karate chop point, and you'll repeat this after me. Even though I have all this anxiety and stress about money.
Even though I have all this anxiety and stress about money.
All this fear of failing.
All this fear of failing.
All this pressure to be perfect.
All this pressure to be perfect.
And I don't know how to let it go.
And I don't know how to let it go.
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
I've been struggling with this for so long.
I've been struggling with this for so long.
I wonder who I'd be without this.
I wonder who I'd be without this.
And I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
And I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
And then you're going to close your eyes, deep breath. Keep tapping on the side of the hand, even though I have all this anxiety and stress about money and life.
Even though I have all of this anxiety and stress about money and life.
And I don't know how to let this go.
And I don't know how to let this go.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
I can't relax about this.
I can't relax about this.
I have to be on guard.
I have to be on guard.
I have to protect myself.
I have to protect myself.
But I accept who I am.
but I accept who I am.
And I appreciate my feelings.
And I appreciate my feelings.
Deep breath. Keep tapping on the side of the hand, everyone. And again, repeat after me, even though I have all this stress and anxiety about money and work.
Even though I have all of this anxiety and stress about money and work.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
Deep breath. And then we're going to the eyebrows. So tap on both sides of the body, going to where the brow ends near the nose, tapping lightly with 2 or 3 fingers. All this stress and worry about money.
All this stress and worry about money.
Side of the eyes, all this stress and worry about money.
All this stress and worry about money.
Underneath the eyes, I'm so afraid of failing.
I'm so afraid of failing.
Underneath the nose, all this fear of failing.
All this fear of failing.
Chin, all this pressure to be perfect.
All this pressure to be perfect.
Collarbone, all this stress in my mind and body.
All this stress in my mind and body.
Underneath the arms, all this struggle.
All this struggle.
Rib cage, all this fear, worry, and overwhelm.
All this fear, worry, and overwhelm.
2 wrists together. It's so exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
Top of the head, all this anger at myself and about the situation.
All this anger at myself and about this situation.
All this anger at them.
All this anger at them.
Eyebrows, all this struggle.
All this struggle.
Side of the eyes, it's so exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
Underneath the eyes, I have suffered so much about this.
I've suffered so much about this.
Underneath the nose, all this fear of failing.
All this fear of failing.
Chin, all this sadness and disappointment.
All this sadness and disappointment.
Collarbone, all this loss of power.
All this loss of power.
Underneath the arms, all this guilt and shame.
All this guilt and shame.
Rib cage, all this embarrassment.
All this embarrassment.
2 wrists together, all this struggle.
All this struggle.
Top of the head. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Lily? Just briefly about how it is for you? Anything that I haven't mentioned?
No, you hit the nail on the head.
Okay. All right, very good. So going to the eyebrows, it's so exhausting.
So exhausting.
Side of the eyes, all this anxiety and fear and worry about the future.
All this anxiety and fear and worry about the future.
Underneath the eyes, all these blocks to receiving.
All these blocks to receiving.
No, I'm not allowed to receive.
I'm not allowed to receive.
Chin, all this overgiving.
All this overgiving.
Collarbone, all these blocks to being paid well for my services.
All these blocks to being paid well for my services.
Underneath the arms, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Rib cage, all this resistance to receiving abundance.
All this resistance to receiving abundance.
2 ribs together, all this resistance to receiving money.
All this resistance to receiving money.
Top of the head, these blocks to receiving a lot of money.
These blocks to receiving a lot of money.
Eyebrows, it's so exhausting.
So exhausting.
Side of the eyes, all this fear of the future.
All this fear of the future.
Underneath the eyes, all this stress and anxiety about money.
All this stress and anxiety about money.
Nose, it's so exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
And I'm tired of suffering about this.
And I'm tired of suffering about this.
Collarbone, I'd really like to let it go.
I'd really like to let it go.
Underneath the arms, from the deepest root causes.
From the deepest root causes.
Rib cage, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
2 wrists together, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Top of the head, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Eyebrows, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Side of the eyes, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Underneath the eyes, letting it go.
Letting it go.
Nose, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Chin, safe to let it all go.
Safe to let it all go.
Collarbone, letting go of all this stress and anxiety.
Letting go of all this stress and anxiety.
Underneath the arms, I let go of being general manager of the universe.
I let go of being general manager of the universe.
Rib cage, and I give this to the universe to handle.
And I give this to the universe to handle.
Wrists together, I don't need to do this all by myself.
I don't need to do this all by myself.
Top of the head, only good lies before me.
Only good lies before me.
Eyebrows, only good comes out of these challenges.
Only good comes out of these challenges.
Side of the eyes, I listen to my inner wisdom.
I listen to my inner wisdom.
Underneath the eyes, I know what to do.
I know what to do.
Nose, I trust in the divine order of my life.
I trust in the divine order of my life.
Chin, everything is working out for me.
Everything is working out for me.
Collarbone, it's safe to shine.
It's safe to shine.
Underneath the arms, it's safe to succeed.
It's safe to succeed.
Rib cage, I call all my power back.
I call all my power back.
Two wrists together from all dimensions of time and space.
From all dimensions of time and space.
Top of the head, I'm allowed to succeed.
I'm allowed to succeed.
Eyebrows, I deserve to succeed.
I deserve to succeed.
Side of the eyes, it's safe to succeed.
It's safe to succeed.
Underneath the eyes, I love succeeding.
I love succeeding.
Nose, I choose to feel calm and confident.
I choose to feel calm and confident.
Chin, I follow my inner guidance each and every step of the way.
I follow my inner guidance each and every step of the way.
Collarbone, I choose to feel surprisingly calm and peaceful.
I choose to feel surprisingly calm and peaceful.
Underneath the arms, everything is working out for me.
Everything is working out for me.
Rib cage, it's safe to relax.
It's safe to relax.
Two wrists together and enjoy the journey.
And enjoy the journey.
Top of the head, the universe has my back.
The universe has my back.
I'm expanding my capacity to receive.
I'm expanding my capacity to receive.
Prosperity, love, and support.
And prosperity, love, and support.
All is well.
All is well.
Close your eyes, deep breath, everyone. Take a break from the tapping. You can put your left hand on your heart if you like, and just tune in to your issue, 0 to 10. Remember the number you were. What number are you now?
I'd say about a 7 now.
Excellent. So you've come from a 10 to a 7, which is a whole different vibration. What are you present? How are you feeling? What are you present to?
Yeah, I feel really calm.
Yeah.
And I'm like quite dizzy and I'm really hot. It's like I've sweated out. I mean, it is hot here today, but yeah, no, it's very relaxing. And I just love those statements. Some of those statements made me smile, especially the one about not being the general manager of the universe.
I know, right? That part of us that's trying to control everything, right? It's exhausting.
I think I'm convinced that's my job title.
I know. A lot of us, right? And it's so nice to remind us to let go of trying to control and, this attachment to an outcome. Like, what if you offered up? I was just mentioning before we got on to the, before we went live, but I've been teaching at a couple of retreats recently of Tosha Silver, who wrote the book Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Lead. And I love her work because it's all about offering things up, like offer the money up, offer the car up, offer the business up, offer the podcast up, and really trust the divine order. Like, clearly this podcast has an energy of its own.
Yeah.
Right? And it's doing its thing. It's like you put it out and look what's happened.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what's remaining for you? So you're feeling more peaceful and calm. What makes it a 7? I'm curious. I mean, obviously there's still a lot you're dealing with. So I
think that's what it is. I think it's just, the And this is what I find with a lot of the stuff that I do. I can calm my mind. Now I have so many techniques that do that. Yeah. And then you'll, you know, so like first thing in the morning, I'll journal, because that, you know, anything I'm worrying about gets written down on the page, or anything that's sitting in my mind, I can kind of, you know, work it out. So I'll start nice and calm, and then, you know, you'll open your phone and you'll have a text or something that will stress you out, or like something will come in the mail, or you'll get an email, and then it snaps you back, and it's almost like it gives you this feeling of, I know that it's coming, I know that the shift is coming, but that's the thing, it's like it's coming, and I want to get to a point where I can say it's here, you know, like it's not coming, it's not in the future, it's right here, right now, this is it.
Yeah. And what does your inner wisdom say that you need to, what's the next right action that you need for your healing?
Well, I've been getting the message, I think, the last few days, that I need to completely stop. Like total detox is the, total detox. So actually I am off on a spa day tomorrow, which will be nice. So I will be able to unplug absolutely everything and just go and be pampered for a day, which is phenomenal. I've been feeling, and this is the thing, I decided last year that I was going to start acting from intuition, even if I couldn't understand what the outcome of that would be. Yeah. And that's actually how the podcast got launched in the first place, because I just got this little nudge to, oh, maybe I'll try a podcast. And then I was like, well, I have to do it now, because that was the rule I made. But there have still been a few things where I realise I haven't done that. And then it causes this whole sort of shitstorm in its wake when I do. And I've been feeling for a while that I need to detach from everything and get some peace and almost some stillness, and literally press pause on all of it.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to unplug, and that's often when a lot of magic can happen. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed we can't see straight, you know. That can be a really, I love that you're going to the spa tomorrow and you're going to have some space and time to just think, and that's when we get our greatest insights. Yeah, that's definitely been, I mean, even with, you know, the lack of energy and feeling so sick, it was like, you know, I need to detox my body, I need to detox my mind. I've found even like the last couple of days, even things that I would normally want to watch, you know, like self-development stuff, videos and coaches I would normally watch, I haven't wanted to watch. It's like there's no more room for anything now. And it's like I don't need anything else now. It's all in there. I just got to listen to myself now. Exactly.
I'm the coach. And actually what I wrote in my journal today, I was journaling around the Confidence Academy because I got a little burst of inspiration this morning about where I want to take it. Yeah. And out of nowhere, I just wrote down that, you know, the ideal client for the Confidence Academy is myself. I need the Confidence Academy before anybody else needs it. And so it was like, stop trying to figure out, you know, what's going to be the most successful thing, or what's the right or the wrong thing. Like, what do I need? What if I'm in the academy right now? What do I need? And I'll go and create that, because if I need it, sure as hell someone else is going to need it. And so it's funny how that's all come back around. It just reminded me, I did write that in my journal this morning, like, you are the ICA. You know, there is no one else you need to base this on. It is for you.
I love, there's this expression, we teach what we need to learn, right?
Totally. And I think that's actually a sign of a bit of a breakthrough for me, because I've definitely always been from this place of, oh, if I'm teaching it, then I have to be the expert. So, you know, like with singing, it was almost like, oh, well, I can't continue to have singing lessons now, because people will think, oh, well, if she still needs lessons, then what has she got to learn? And actually, that's a load of rubbish. I mean, you know, people continue, you have to keep training. You know, I'm sure doctors are always retraining in their methods. They're always reading up on the latest, you know, scientific, you know, take on whatever it is, because they want to have the most up-to-date information. And God, where would we be if they didn't do that? You know, they'd still be putting leeches on us to extract blood. Do you know what I mean? Like, You have to be willing to evolve, and with evolving comes a bit of learning, I guess. So that was a big breakthrough for me, though, because I have a big belief of mine has been that I think I've shifted now. I don't think it's a belief now so much, but one that I've been living with a long time is it's possible for everyone else and not for me.
Oh yeah, so one to tap on too.
Yeah, so even with the singing, like I realized this year that even with my singing, I played small. I didn't do what I wanted to do when it came to singing. And actually, right before I came on to interview you today, I was in touch with a guy who has a funk soul band, because I've always wanted to sing with a live funk and soul band with like the sax and the trumpets and all of that. And I never did it. And I went on and I found this guy, and he's looking for a singer. He said he's auditioning someone, but he'll be in touch if he still needs me. So, I mean, that or something better, right? So either that will come off or something else will. But I realized that all the way along I've played small because I've had this belief, oh, it's okay for you, but not for me. So everyone I teach singing, there's no way I would ever tell anyone that they couldn't do what they wanted to do. And yet I tell myself that all the time, which is totally like twisted, isn't it? And not at all correct.
Yeah, so, we often have these blocks, you know, the core issue, I don't deserve to have success, I don't deserve to shine, or, you know, it's not safe to shine. Like, even though you're very expressed and you're really good at putting yourself out there, and you love the limelight, there's probably some subconscious stuff about it's safe to shine and be seen on a whole new level.
Yeah, see, I slam the brakes on. I will be seen to a point, and then I'll slam the brakes on, and I'll sabotage it. So I'll just be like, oh, and I'll make up a rule in my head and I'll totally convince myself that it was okay to do that because of X, Y, Z, whatever story I can come up with. It's almost like, you know, like Joan of Arc, or like all these women in history who threw themselves down so that others could thrive. Like, I feel like maybe I was one of them. I've come back and I still think that I have to go and throw myself down so that everyone else gets to rise. And I know consciously that the way I allow people to rise is I rise first myself. I know this, but I energetically, I don't think I have known that. And I think I really resonate with that. Not that I think I was Joan of Arc, but I really feel like I've always had this thing like, oh, I have to suffer. You know, it's like, that's a martyr, isn't it? It's like, oh, I'll suffer, but everyone else can just have a wonderful life. Well, now I'm like, well, actually, no, I'd quite like to come along for that ride. It looks fun.
You know, there's often a part of us that's, you know, it's an overgiver, codependent, putting everyone else's needs before our own, and then really depleted and resentful because it's like, you know, everyone else is being taken care of except ourselves. So that's why that self-care piece is so important, and clearing blocks to receiving. Like, you are worthy and deserving of receiving and success and prosperity. Yeah. And love and support. It's so important. And often, like I said, worthiness, deserving, and then safety. It's safe to shine. It's safe to succeed. A lot of us want to hide out and stay under the radar. Yeah. Because, like, there's an old belief it's safer to hide out.
Yeah.
So, and then just another thing I wanted to say, I love your wisdom about taking space and to unplug, you know, go to the beach, go to the spa, whatever it is. And then, and the other pieces are just like, if for the listeners, if they're feeling stuck or they're feeling anxious, you know, taking time to be still and quiet, but also, clearing out clutter, that can be huge, you know, if we're feeling anxious, or to just, you know, let go of mind clutter, body clutter, physical clutter, you know, and then of course the tap, you know, just using the tapping, you know, clearing the stuff. And then there are different layers. So some of the listeners may be feeling like, oh, I feel 100 times better. Other people are, you know, having a smaller shift. So keep tapping and clearing on what's remaining. So I just wanted to say that, and definitely get support. Like, if you're struggling, do not do this alone. You know, a lot of the time struggling and trying to work it out by ourselves. Like, get the support you need, however that looks, and listen to your inner wisdom about what that support is what the right support is.
Yeah. And I wanted to pick up one of the statements you said while we were tapping around was something along the lines of, I wonder who I would be without this struggle. And I smiled when you said it, because that's come out so many times in my journaling, that I actually, it's like we wear our fear or our anxiety like a badge of honor. Like, yes. And it's going to sound heartless when I say it, but I'm fully talking about myself here. I've recognized this in myself, where it's like, oh, but I have anxiety, so I can just let myself off everything. Well, no. At what point are you going to let yourself put that badge down and go, well, is that really the badge you want to be wearing? Do you want to wear the anxiety badge, or do you want to wear the badge that says, actually, I live a frigging awesome life? And yes, anxiety shows up, and sometimes it's warranted, but a lot of the time it's not. And actually, my badge says that I'm in control of how I feel and how I think. Oh dear, little cough. We have Sophia on the podcast. Sophia is on every podcast at the moment, ever since she was born. And we'll hold her up so you can see her. She's so hot. Say hey. She's so hot. Oh, it's hot, isn't it, baby? Oh dear. But yeah, it was that. I love what you said, that who am I without this? Because that in itself would be scary. And that might be why you can't let go of your anxiety. That might be why things you've tried up till now haven't worked. Because if on any level you think you'd be worse off, you're not going to allow yourself to get there. You're going to keep yourself there because it's safe. So that affirmation that actually, no, it is safe. It's safe to thrive. It's safe to shine. It's safe to up level. It's safe to, yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Because, we have an identity. We're so used to being a certain way. So if we change, it's like, who will we be if we let go of this anxiety? We won't recognize ourselves.
Yeah.
A couple of other things I just want to say about anxiety is just, if we have anxiety, often we're highly sensitive people. So just give yourself room to feel your feelings. It's not about sweeping it under the carpet. And when you do tap around the points, have a good vent and just keep going in the negative as long as you need to. Like, I'm so worried about this, I'm worried about that, and what if this happens? And like, give yourself room to feel your feelings and honor that. And the self-care is really important too, because if you're sensitive, that self-care, daily rituals are so important.
Yeah, and I think they're the most important, and yet they are the things that we struggle the most to implement. Especially in times of struggle, it's like that's the first thing to go out the window, and actually it should be the first thing we do.
Yeah, and especially if you're a mom, that's such a challenge, right? Self-care, but to just carve out little things that you can do that soothe yourself. I think can be a real quick thing, and I'll include a little laser audio too that people can tap along to.
Awesome, amazing. That's so great. Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing. It's been so lovely that you actually gave us something that people could work along with. What I would love for everybody listening, all 63,000 of you, I would love you to come into the Confidence Academy Facebook group to tell us if you tapped along with this audio, with this podcast. Tell us what it was you tapped on. If you want to share the number that you started out at and then the one that you ended up with, then do it. If you have questions, then go ahead and ask them. I will be inviting Kate to come into the Facebook group, as an admin, so that you can be tagged in any questions. And then if people want to have a conversation with you, find out more information, or just share the experience, I know we'd love to hear. I would love to know what this did for you and how it's helped. And we've mentioned a bunch of things today, including the audio you can download, the diagram to show you the tapping points, and the video as well. So we will link to all of that in the show notes, along with Kate's information. So Kate, do you just want to let us know how people can contact you if they do want to reach out?
Yeah, my website is katewinch.com. So it's KATEWINCH.com. And on there you can contact me. And then I have I do teleclasses and laser audios and one-on-one sessions, and I have workshops and things which I do in the Bay Area and also sometimes in England. So yeah.
Awesome. And that was the other thing I was going to say, bear in mind, guys, wherever you're listening in the world, Kate's sat in San Francisco right now, and I'm sat here in Salisbury, and Kate was just able to work with me. It's that easy. So you don't have to say, oh, but there's no one in my area, or blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you can find an internet connection, then, you know, and if you're listening to this podcast, then I'm guessing you can. So you can find that support. You can find, you know, you can do this. And I mean, even you can find these links, and there's so much information out there. And the beauty of the podcast is we're bringing it all to you. So you don't have to trawl the internet like I did, looking for all of these, you know, different modalities and different ways of coping. You can just look at the list of podcast episodes that have gone out since November last year and find what works for you. So if you've listened to this and gone, oh, I really don't know if that's for me. Well, first of all, don't knock it till you've tried it. Seriously. If you're serious about overcoming your anxiety, or at least thriving in spite of it, and you haven't tried tapping, then try it. And then if it's not for you, fab, find something else. But the truth is, there's something for everybody. And all you really need is the decision to change. The decision to, it's not even about changing. It's just about the decision about thriving as you are and who you are. And we talked about this a bit before as well, didn't we? That, you know, Kate asked me the question because I was saying how my mindset had shifted over the last year. And Kate asked me, had anything really changed in order for that mindset shift to come about? And I said, the only thing that changed was my perception of myself, where I realized that I already was enough. And it sounds so woo-woo, but it's so true. Like, we spend our whole lives looking for the missing piece, or, you know, people go away to find themselves. Well, you're right there. It's all right there. It's in your heart. It's in your soul. If there's anything to do, it's just to clear the gangway, you know, shut down the noise, shut down all the voices that are telling you it's not possible, and find the still voice inside you that tells you it is, and that tells you how as well. It's all in there. So
yeah, that ego can be so unkind, you know, or just like, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, I'm this and that. And just to like thank it for sharing and come back with a true inner wisdom, which is you're enough, you're whole and complete, you have everything you need. And to follow your inner guidance, let go of all attachment, but follow the inner guidance that comes through. Offer things up to the universe. You don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, I mean, that probably would have been a really nice place to stop, but I like to ask everyone this question, which is, and you may just want to repeat what you said, but it's up to you. But if you had a megaphone and the ability to reach every anxiety sufferer in the world right now, what would you want them to know?
Just that you're not alone. To get support, do not struggle on your own in the dangerous neighborhood of your mind. The tapping is awesome. Use it. I'll put the video there. Tap along. And whenever you're feeling stressed, use the tapping, journal, do your self-care, and give yourself plenty. It's kind of repeating myself, but give yourself room to feel your feelings. Like, don't switch over to the positive if you're still in that funk, you know, give yourself, express yourself. Because so often in this day and age, there's so many distractions, we don't really have time to actually feel our feeling. And, you know, when I'm in a one-on-one session, you know, we do a very deep clearing of all the negative, bringing it up and out. Because you have to, you know, that expression, you have to feel it to heal it. Right. And that is the way forward, is feeling those uncomfortable feelings and then tapping them out, and then you can be positive. Yeah. And so just practicing that loving kindness, you know, really kind to the self, because we can be so hard on ourselves.
Yeah. And that's awesome advice, because I think when it comes to anything like anxiety or stress or depression, we are now living in a world which in some ways it's awesome, because there are so many people talking about a positive mindset and, you know, find your happy and blah, blah, blah. But doesn't that put so much pressure on everyone to be friggin' happy all the time? And actually, every single one of your emotions counts. Every single one of your emotions has a purpose. And Kate's absolutely right. It's the path, it's the direct path to everything you wanted. So you don't want to run away from it. It's the last thing you want to do is shut it down or fling it under a carpet, because you know, that lesson will just come back around again. Your emotions all have a purpose. They're all there for a reason. And so don't be afraid of them. Sit with the emotion. But at the same time, don't tell yourself that you can't shift out of that or that you can't move forward, because you can. And it's completely possible. And I'm proof of that. And, you know, I still have things now that stress me out, that I struggle with, because I'm a human being. It's part of the human experience. What I don't have, though, and what I can categorically say I don't have now, is I no longer have the belief that I can't move forward, and I no longer have the fear that anxiety has me in its grip, because I know it never did. So that shifted, and I hope that by listening to this podcast, maybe that can shift for you guys too. And then go find what works for you and try it all. I mean, I do all of this stuff. I'm a bit of a self-development junkie these days, but I love how expansive it is, and how it can really, I mean, it makes the world seem very small in the best possible way. You know, when you're feeling so burdened with your worries of whatever it may be, this way of thinking can really expand your mind, and you can think like, this is how I feel right now in this moment, but it's not forever. And it, you know, it does get to shift. Exactly. It's, you can just, it's not permanent. Yeah, it is temporary, and you can choose to shift out of that at any point. And that's not being flippant, and that's not like, you know, taking away from your experience or any of that stuff. Like, I mean, really, you can go as deep into that as you want to. And if you want to stay there for a while, stay there for a while, but do know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can move towards that light whenever you're ready.
Yeah. The other thing I love to tell clients, I'm not sure whose quote it is, but there's an expression: do not be fooled by the dark before the dawn. You know, you're in the thick of it, you're really struggling. On the other side is the dawn, where you're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Another way of saying that is, when you're in breakdown, on the other side is breakthrough. And often you're very close. When things are really difficult, you're on the verge of a big breakthrough. So look for miracles. Like, things will get better, things will improve. And often, you know, you go through a very tough time, and then you up level on the other side of it. So that people don't realize that. But if you start looking for the miracles, things can, you know, you can really go from a very tough time to a very good place.
I love that. And I really resonate with that. And actually, I saw a graphic, I think it was on Facebook a while back, where somebody shared a graphic of, it was a little lizard or something, trying to scrabble through a hole, like a wall. There was a wall to something on the other side, and it was desperately trying to get to the other side, and it was in this dark tunnel, and it was scrabbling and scrabbling and scrabbling, and it was like, I have to get through this wall. And then when you panned out on the picture, on the other side of the wall was this massive monster that was gonna eat the lizard when it got through. So it was like, you know, it's the perception of where you are. Like, sometimes if there seems to be a massive block, like, maybe that's not the way to go, you know. Don't bang your head against that wall too many times. And you can look at that, because obviously we will sabotage ourselves as well. So you can ask the question, like, is this resistance because it's actually the way to go, or does this actually not feel in alignment for me? And you'll know that in the pit of your stomach. And that's definitely true when it comes to relationships, for example. Like, you could be flogging, you know, this relationship because you're afraid to be without it. But actually, that may not be the best thing for you. That, you know, there may be something so much better when you actually learn that you're okay as you are. And that's been one of the biggest lessons I've learned. It's our perception of the situation. And fear and anxiety and all of those things always feel very small, very dark, very lonely. And actually, I always like to think there's a bird's eye view of that situation. And, you know, if you could see the bird's eye view, then what would you think? Because, you know, you've only got to look back on your life so far. Look back to another time where you thought all hope was lost. Like, I think back to when I was in junior school and my best friend wasn't being very nice to me. And in that moment, I had no hope. I was so sad. I thought everyone hated me. And at that moment, my life had ended, because I just thought, I have nobody. But the big bird's eye view picture of that now, obviously as a woman of 40, I look back now, and all of that was teaching me how to respect myself, like what to expect from other people, how to call in the people who are my soul people, as opposed to just anyone who I was trying to attach to through fear, and it was all a journey. It was all for a purpose, and this is also for a purpose. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing to remember that. And I love that analogy, the dawn and the light, it's true. And
and
it's so true.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart, but sometimes it's been falling apart so it can be rebuilt in a way that works.
Yeah, and actually the breakdown into breakthrough, to me, any breakdown is a breakthrough. That's exactly what it is. And actually, even with the car situation that I mentioned earlier, like on a human level, I'm gutted because I really like that car. But on the other level, I know that what I've been calling in energetically is so much more than that car. So actually, I've already released it from my energy, because I don't desire that car anymore. I want a Mercedes. So if this is the journey to the Mercedes, well, we'll have to see, won't we? I mean, on the other hand, I just think, well, it's all material stuff anyway, and it is what it is. So, it's not like it's keeping me up at night. It's just it's a human thing. But I fully know and trust that there's a whole reason to this. And if I was meant to keep it, I would have kept it. And if I don't keep it, then that wasn't supposed to happen either. And I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that.
Letting go of all attachment, offering the car back to the universe, and
yes,
you are provided for.
Yeah, totally. Or I'll have to come back and update you all.
Yeah, I'd love to know. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor and privilege to be on your podcast, and you're amazing. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, so Kate and I have been connected for a while now in the online space, and so it's been really lovely because I can actually see her lovely face on my computer.
A fellow Brit, and you're incredible, and I love what you're up to, and just keep moving forward. I can see it's just incredible what you've created so far. So
thank you, my love. That's really lovely. And to everyone listening, thank you for being with us today. I really, really hope that it helped. I hope it resonated. I hope you got a load from this. I know I did. So as I said, get into the Facebook group. Let us know in there how you got on with this. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them. Kate will be invited to run a masterclass in the Members Club. So if you're not already a member of the Confidence Academy Members Club, hit the link in the show notes, get yourself over there, and I will let you know when that's going to be happening. But we now have one masterclass every month with somebody awesome, just like Kate, who can take you much, much deeper into these principles and really get you moving. But all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you once again to Kate for being here. And to everybody listening, remember, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it. Sending lots of love. Bye-bye.
And that's us done for another episode. I hope you are now feeling uplifted, inspired and motivated, and ready to start making those positive changes starting today. If you love this episode and would like to connect with me or any of my amazing guests, then get on over to the Facebook group and join the conversation there. And for additional support and accountability, why not become a member of the Confidence Academy Members Club? You will find all of the relevant links in the show notes beneath this episode. Plus, I am so excited to announce that the Singing Club is back. This is my amazing 8-week program for people who have always wanted to learn how to sing. Singing has been and continues to be one of the main ways in which I keep my own anxiety at bay. I believe almost anyone can learn to sing, and if it's something you've always wanted to do, then you just have to be part of this next round. The program will run live via a private Facebook group where you can get feedback and support from me and the other group members. And the best part is, when you pay for this program, you are a member for life. That means that every time I run the course, you can come through it again and again as many times as you like, regardless of how many updates and price changes there may have been. Head on over to lilybadcock.com for the full details. In the meantime, I'll be back again soon with another new episode and more amazing guest experts. But until then, look after yourself, dream big, and live bigger. And remember, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it.